Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Art Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and today we have a rematch that myself and Wes have been talking about, but it's flipped on its head a little bit. Recently, Wes took 7 TIE fighters up against me and I had an alright time against it. It was a tricky list for Wes to fly, so I said, you know what, soon I will run 7 TIE fighters, see how I get on, see what you bring, and see how it goes. Now, we are running Ancient Knowledge as the mission for this one, so it is a different mission, and the points obviously are done slightly differently this time. You get half points on all missions, but it is still more about seeing, can I have any luck with 7 TIE fighters? So, without further ado, let's run through those lists before the game gets going. It's going to take a while because I've got a lot to go through. But I am running, as I said, 7 TIE fighters with Howlrunner, running Swarm Tactics, Snapshot and Target Computer, Mauler Mithel with Predator and Heavy Laser Cannon, Scourge Skutu with Snapshot and Target Computer, Gideon Hask with Marksmanship, Deadeye Shot, Proton Rockets and Target Computer, Seyn Marana with Marksmanship, Autoblasters and Target Computer, and 2 Academy TIE Fighter pilots, both with the Targeting Computer. Now, Wes has decided to run quite a cool, chunky Rebel list against me. He has got over there Wedge Antilles with Elusive, Homing Torpedoes, R3 Astromech, and the Servo Motor S4s. This is the original Wedge, so it is I6. Got Thane Corral in the X-Wing with Cluster Missiles and Servo Motor S4s. Cluster Missiles could come in really handy. Got Corran Horn in the E-Wing, not one we see often, but Targeting Synchronizer, Fire Control Systems and R3 Astromech, looking to really utilise his ability to lock outside of range 1. And we have 2 Z95s rounding off the list. We've got Aaron Kraken with Marksmanship and Homing Torpedoes, and Lieutenant Blount with Hopeful, Marksmanship and Afterburners. Now, first thing we can see, obviously we have a larger group of TIEs down the bottom and 2 academies just up at the top doing what academies do, which is hopefully going to be an absolute nuisance for Wes. But those rebels are running in a big block, and that already is kind of scary to contemplate. They can put out a lot of hurt. I have a lot of evade dice, so hopefully I can weather the salvo that is coming through here. But as I said, obviously there is a mission to play running through this as well with Ancient Knowledge, and the way the points work on this is going to be different to how it originally played. Obviously you get half points, maximum of 2 points per turn for the Ancient Knowledge or any of the mission scoring now, so that could play a hand in this, but we shall see. But a fairly measured approach from the Rebels so far, sticking together quite nicely. I have to be careful of that obstacle just in front of Blount there. This definitely means he's going to have to go forward again before he comes round. And at this point, Wes did realise he actually had the I5 Wedge from one of the other packs on there. So luckily, I happen to have a Wedge card in my bag. So quickly swap that out just to try and make it a little bit easier to remember that he is an I6. And follow that, realise, so we're just marking Wedge up there to make sure it's in the right place. But here we go, Corran Horn is going a fair amount faster in that opening turn there. Corran can be quite scary. Obviously, he has the ability to lock outside of range 1, so he can get those big early locks in, but also he can actually double tap, which is something I love about Corran. It's not something that is... You have to be in the bullseye to do it, and you do get a disarm after, so you do have to be aware that you are going to have to disengage and try and come back into the fight, but that can be quite scary. Especially with fire control system, if you get a decent set of rolls there, it can work quite well in your favour. And that already looks like it could be a bullseye there, down onto Gideon. I have to see if that's going to end up in range 3. Normally we'd wait for that range runner to go out so we can see, but again, with the E-Wing, it can lock outside of range 3, so we don't get any information just yet. We are going to have to wait to see until everything has moved. I've got 2 ships on my side, both having snapshots, so that is hopefully going to be something that will come into play and be quite handy just to strip some shields off. Obviously, snapshot works before they pick up their tokens, but if I can look to strip some shields off early on these rebels, it will be quite nice. Just looking at the overall ship health on both sides, the total damage, despite having 2 more ships than Wes, I still have less health. So across my 7 ships, I have 21 health. Across Wes's, we are looking at 26 health. So, oh, it is. We've got some range 3 shots there, and that is bullseye on Gideon. So, should Wes choose, we could be seeing a double tap into Gideon. This could be an early down, and I don't like the thought of it, but let's see. 2 hits, does have fire control system, going to be worth re-rolling that. 3 hits already onto Gideon, that's not ideal. Do get 4 evades against that. And good job, gonna have to spend that token. No damage there from Corin in that first salvo. Now going to be the return shot from Gideon. No bonuses, no tokens now. Range 3, 2v4. Would be nice to get some early damage in. Just the one going to be going through. That's what we like to see. Early damage on those rebels. And peeling those tokens off. And at that point, Wes goes, oh, I can do a thing. So just popping the tokens back. Not that they're likely to matter, because pretty sure the only thing we saw in Bullseye was Gideon, but let's just go and double check that. Yeah, Gideon in the Bullseye at range 3. So that is going to be a second shot from Corin. He will be disarmed next turn. Oh, 2 again. Fire control system, 3 hits. Gets a damage through onto Gideon Hask, and Gideon is down 1. So 1 health. A piece taken in turn 1. Early shots. Don't always see that happening. But Corin is now stressed and disarmed, and is not in the best of positions either. He can be quite easily caught out there. The E-Wing, absolutely love the E-Wing, but it doesn't have the greatest of dials when it comes to getting rid of those stress. Just going to bring up, again, I love the E-Wing, but don't often fly it. It's one of those ones that doesn't get, I don't use it as much as I probably should. So just bringing up the E-Wing dial now, just to refresh my mind on it, but I'm pretty sure, yes, it's the 1 through 4 straight and the 1 bank that is blues. So not the best amount of, but not bad blues, but could be better. That's why I like running R4 Astromech on there, opening up all those blues, making those hard ones white as well. So Wes is likely to... He's not going to want to do a straight because that's going to put him right into those X-Wings. But the Academy's moving up. White Academy grabbing the Ancient Knowledge. Again, quite fast from those rebels. Probably looking to put those X-Wings in a position where they can turn in next turn. Obviously, could have potentially had the God of Speed slower, but it could have been a bit awkward for the X-Wings to get round that obstacle. But here goes Gideon. Now, one thing I would have absolutely loved on these TIE fighters is a one bank. If you're going to fly a Storm, it's nice to have all the bank maneuvers to make those turns a lot easier. So Gideon having to zoom up a lot faster, barrel roll out the way. Possibly could have barrel rolled the other way. Got Corran in potentially arc there when he moves around, but we'll see. But that's just Seyn moving up. Do we focus? Do we target lock? Do we see if we can get that Ancient Knowledge? And again, I know we've spoken about Ancient Knowledge a couple of times, but just a reminder, obviously there is an active charge on each objective. If you're at range 0 to 1, you can actually do the transmit action, which gives you the Ancient Knowledge condition. Ancient Knowledge condition allows you to spend that token that you've received to turn a red dice into a hit or a green dice into an evade. Now, if you do that, you spend it, so you're not going to score it. If you have the Ancient Knowledge at the end of the turn, you will score 1 point. If you have more than your opponent, you will score 2 points. But if you do score 2 points, you do have to remove one of those tokens. Interesting to note, if you're the only one, if you've only got one, and your opponent has 0 and you score 2 points, you still have to get rid of that token. So that's something to be aware of. So if you can grab 2, that's brilliant. Oh yeah, looking at that, barrel roll from Gideon the other way probably would have blocked Corran, which would have been really nice to see. But Howlrunner does have a nice shot down there towards Corran. Where is Scourge going? He's doing the 3 bank. So not going to be a lot of shots for my TIE fighters here, unfortunately. Maybe... Oh, Mauler just sitting in there. I think Mauler might have arc, but not 100% guaranteed there. But looking at it currently, I think it's only going to be Howlrunner who is going to have a shot on my side. So Corran could be getting away quite free. Again, looking back, barrel roll to the left would have blocked Corran. He would have been roughly where his focus token is. Then we would have had 4 ships being able to shoot at him. That would have been absolutely amazing. So yeah, range 1 from Howlrunner. Absolutely spectacular shooting from Howlrunner. She does get a reroll because of her ability. Ooh, that hurts. But that's okay. So Corin took the focus, realised actually he's stressed, couldn't take the focus, so still getting one shield down there. But let's see, I don't think... So nothing from Scourge. Nothing from Seyn. Ooh, Gideon looks like he's got a long bomb. Long bomb range 3 onto Wedge. Not worth writing home about. And nothing from the academies up top. So very, very little shooting there, but 1 point each for the Ancient Knowledge Wedge, picking that up as well as the academy. Corinhorn getting away quite lucky there. Honestly, I look back at that now, barrel the other way would have been brilliant, but the engagement is about to happen. I can feel those Z95s and X-Wings just itching to hard turn down the board towards this big block of ties. The Academy TIE Fighters, they don't care about those. Only 2 points apiece, not really worth it. They are going to be coming for the rest of these. What is Corin going to do? Is he just going to zip out there, or is he going to try and get rid of that stress, is the question. Could do a 2 forward, get rid of the stress. Got to be careful of that obstacle there, though. But the initiative is back in my hands. Here come the Academy ties coming round. Oh, for a boost on TIE Fighters right now. Just to zip in behind, that would be amazing. But gotta love targeted computer on TIE Fighters as well. Giving them probably the best action that they're missing. I mean, I would love to have a boost on TIE Fighters, but having a target lock on them, I just feel is so good. Again, having only 2 attack dice, they're defensively great, but the 2 attack dice can be quite limiting. Obviously, we've got a few on my side which have some shenanigans to gain additional dice. For instance, we've got Mauler, who gets an additional dice at range 1, so he'll be rolling 4. Scourge, who gets an additional dice if they're in the bullseye. Gideon, if I'm attacking a damaged defender, which also, because it doesn't specify primary attacks, works really nicely with Proton Rockets, potentially getting a 6 dice Proton there. So a few shenanigans to get extra dice, but gotta get into those situations. Gideon grabbing the Ancient Knowledge there from the middle. Defensive play in a way, stopping Wes from grabbing that with one of his ships. And here comes the turn in, just as we anticipated. This is going to be some close range fire here. Now, I would be very shocked if we don't see all of these ships just too hard down into the middle. Now, I had to be really careful with Howlrunner here. Obviously, with Corin's position, both of them being I5s, coming down to initiative to figure out, right, where is he actually going to be, and having to be careful of that. So he is blocking a really choice spot for Howlrunner there. Ooh. That does just fit there in behind Gideon, and third ancient knowledge is grabbed. So a lot of knowledge on my side. And for some reason, dialed in a 3 with Mauler. Don't know why I did that. Mauler has just careened into the back of Seyn there, and of course has taken some damage. 2 bank would have been perfect there. What was Howlrunner doing? Ooh, Howlrunner chasing down Corin Horn there. So it's still just taking the focus. Lock is already there on Corin as well, I believe, from an earlier round. Oh, and it is the 1 bank from Corin getting rid of that stress. Now, could boost to get out of range 1, or could barrel roll to get the benefit of the obstacle. Now, something that came up here, obviously, Ware's fully aware of Snapshot. He's used it in the past. When a ship finishes, in fact, let's bring that up so we actually get it completely right. After an enemy ship executes a maneuver, you may perform this attack against it as a bonus attack, and it is at range 2. So within that range 2 bubble. The question we were having here is, does a boost or barrel roll count as a maneuver? And we double checked it, no. Counts as a move, but not as a maneuver. So you cannot snapshot off a boost or a barrel roll. It's only off of a dialed in maneuver. So we checked that, gave that information to Wes. That obviously gives him more information to understand, right, what is it I actually want to do here? Because if he was thinking, oh, if I boost, get into range 2 and snapshot works, not ideal. But it doesn't. So do we see him boost? Do we see him barrel roll? Extra green dice, less red dice. What is the option that he's going to go with? Then the other thing to think, what position does it put you in for next turn as well? Yeah, so we were just, it took a while to find it in there. Obviously the rulebook, really good. Sometimes knowing exactly how things are worded and where they are kept in there means you've got to actually search a little bit. But fortunately, it's one of those things, once you know it, it should stick in your mind there. So still the question, straight boost forward. Ooh. Going for the bank boost, looking to get a lineup on where he wants to go next turn. Obviously, wanted to come back round that obstacle. Oh, that's not going to land. That is a failed action. So after all of that deliberation and searching through the rulebook, failed actions, still going to be at range 1 of Howlrunner, and Corin is 1 shield away from half points. But here's the 2 hard from Aaron, as we anticipated. Just outside of snapshot range there by the look of it. But judging by that, Seyn should be in snapshot range. Possibly Wedge. Tough to see. Wedge could end up being at range 1 there. Seyn coming round. Ooh, might have actually been outside of range 2 though, or just checking to see if I wanted to do the snapshot. Fairly decent information though. Obviously, Seyn has cluster missiles, so if that was outside of range 2, okay, so he's locking Seyn. Now, I do like cluster missiles, but one of the tricky things with them is actually getting all of the requirements for the double shot. Obviously, both ships has to be at range 0 to 2 of you. The enemy ship has to be the second ship has to be at arc, also has to be at 0-1 of your opponent. It's a trick of, oh, that's a great snapshot into Wedge there. Just the shield off. Or does he spend the ancient? No, he's spending the ancient knowledge. So guaranteeing that I'm going to be, if I don't get rid of it, scoring 2 points at the end of this turn at minimum. Obviously, we've got the TIE Fighter up at the top with it, so he is unlikely to be getting rid of that. But will Gideon and Scourge have to spend their ancient knowledges? And Wedge decided to follow suit and locking Gideon and Seyn. Clearly, they are the ones that are scary for the most. Obviously, I mean, Gideon's got rockets, so not a bad shout to target him. Range 1 here from Wedge Antilles. Oh, that's a pretty good shot. 2 hits and a crit. Does he spend? He is going to try and get the full house. No, just 2 hits and a crit. That's 1 focus. Oh, even spending it, that is going to be Gideon Hask down. Hit, crit, 1 ship. Wiped off the board there. That hurts a little bit. Gideon was one of my little aces in the hole there. He could put out a lot of damage. If Howlrunner, Mauler and Scourge could get those shields down, Gideon was there to mop up. I mean, a 6 dice proc would have been absolutely lovely to see, but not a bad choice from Wedge to get rid of that. Does get rid of most of the target locks he's picked up though, so not terrible. But switching over, Howlrunner is going to go into Corin. Oh, decisions. Do I spend that focus and get greedy on the attack? Yes, we are going for it. 2 hits and a crit into Corin Horn. His dice have not been great. That is the final shield down. Half points on Corin Horn. Would have been nice to have snuck that crit in as well, but we'll take half points to start with. Corin has been very lucky. Well, his luck's swung both ways. Unlucky with suffering those unlikely shield drops earlier, but only having 1 thing shoot at him last turn, only having 1 thing shoot him this turn, could have been worse. So now it is time for Mauler, Mithel and Scourge to see what they can do. I mean, looking at the points on all of these ships, they're all pretty similar points. Corin and Wedge both 5, Seyn 4, so it's got to be going into Wedge. He's got no tokens. Does have elusive though. But just having a look at the abilities, they're all range 1 or bullseye, so Mauler's got range 2. I think Scourge still has range 2 as well. I said, if Scourge has the bullseye, that's alright. We've got... Actually, Scourge definitely doesn't have the bullseye, I can see from his position. But Mauler going into Wedge. Am I getting them a bit mixed up there? So I think I've accidentally shot Seyn a bit early there, to be honest. I think I've shot Seyn in the I5 step for some reason. So slight faux pas there on my behalf. Ooh, not great there. Going for damage. Ooh, getting some damage through. Spending the elusive. Definitely one shield down. Ooh, shield and a hit on Wedge. So that is half points. So moving over to Wes's 5s, Seyn and Aaron Kraken. Curious to see if Seyn has range for cluster missiles. Don't think he's going to have second shot on cluster missiles. I do believe that Mauler and Scourge are just outside of range 2. It's going to be so close though. But cluster missiles, clusters and concussions can be the absolute bane of flying in a swarm. But you don't see much swarm flying nowadays, to be honest. But let's see. Yeah, so I do believe I might have shot a ship in the wrong order. So apologies there, Wes. Nothing from Cora, as we know he's facing the wrong way. No turret on him. And Seyn and Aaron Kraken. Aaron, I believe, not sure where his lock is, whether that is down on Seyn or whether that was on Gideon. So there was a lot of locks on Gideon that have obviously gone now because he is out of the picture, very much so. Ooh, what's the rate? Is that range 2 by the look of it? Yeah, range 2, just 2 dice. Nothing's changed there, so clearly the target lock was on Gideon, so Wes definitely pinning all of his options on getting Gideon out of the picture early, which again, I don't blame him. Gideon can be very scary in the late game with that additional dice. I mean, if Gideon was still there right now, he would be definitely eyeing up a 6-dice procket into Wedge. Because not only is Wedge a decent chunk of points there, but he is also, his ability is just rude. I'm glad you can't stick outmaneuver on him anymore, because outmaneuver Wedge was just oppressive. So we've got Seyn going for a range 2 into Seyn, and it's just out of range 2 of Scourge, so cluster missiles not going to really have much of an impact there. Probably not even worth doing cluster missiles if you are not going to be hitting 2, but he has taken an additional focus there. So obviously that's from Aaron Kraken. After you perform an attack, you may choose one friendly ship at range 1. That ship may perform an action treating it as red. So double modded. Oh, doesn't need double mods. Going to be spending that focus. That's 3 into Seyn. Oh, taking 2 there. Oh, these ties are starting to get a bit chewed up there. So this is going to be Blount. 2 hits again going into Seyn. Oh, that's another TIE fighter down. Oh, 2 ties down in the turn. That is not bad for Wes there. That's going to score him quite a few points. Bringing it back up there, though, with the Ancient Knowledge, the one that I had scoring me 2 points because I have more than Wes did mean that I had to then discard it, which is a little bit disappointing. It would have been nice to have kept hold of that, but those academies hopefully can start swinging in and getting some damage in, but losing 2 TIE fighters there, having not taken a lot of damage back on Wes's ships, this is going to be a very awkward position, and road is going to be important as to who's going to get first, because okay, Wes has got it, so Aaron, Corin and Thane gonna all move first. So new Wedge was going to be there. Have to now decide, do I go slow to try and get in front of Wedge, or did I play it risky and try and go quick right over the top and past? And another bump there for the academies. And another damage off the bump, because of course, if you're going to bump your ships, you are always going to end up taking damage. At least if you're on camera anyway. Rubbing salt into the wounds of your poor flying there. Let's see, what have these ships done here. Oh, where's misinterpreting that slightly? Forgetting that Howlrunner is an I5 and will be going after Blount. That is a bump in there. Now, what were the rest of them doing, though? Does that have a huge impact on Wes's positioning? Seyn going round. Potentially a nice position for a block. And checking on snapshot. A little bit of careless bump in there, but looks like Seyn has just skipped past the snapshot position for Scourge, just out of arc there. Ooh, just a one forward from Aaron. Oh, nicely done. Nope, not nicely done. Did bump. Sorry, I thought he managed to land that. So that is a shield down on Aaron Kraken. That is going to be at snapshot range of Scourge, and he is going to take that. Oh, hit crit into that little Z95. And they're both going through. This could be Aaron Kraken down. But half points at least, and that crit is a console fire. Not bad. We could see him still drop at the end during the shooting phase, but not bad. Oh, Corin, you have just landed yourself on to that obstacle there. You threatened it with the boost, and you've actually done it. That is poor there. Corin now down to 2 hull remaining. Now let's see what these TIE fighters have done. A 1 hard from Howlrunner, avoiding the obstacle. Would have loved to have chased down Corin there, but I don't think I would have been able to get myself into a good position to do that. Where is Mauler going? Mauler doing the shorter move. Grabbing the ancient knowledge. Back up to 2 tokens there for my ships. And a K-turn from Scourge. Probably one of the Scourge was probably the one that was the safest move there, knowing that highly unlikely anything was going to be in that position. And what is Wedge doing? Oh, Wedge is also K-turning there. Puts himself in a really nice position. He has a great shot lined up on Mauler. Could quite easily take him out. Oh, looking at it, this is unfortunate. We could be losing Mauler and Howlrunner this turn, I reckon. I think that's range 1 into Mauler as well. 4 dice. No mods for Wedge though, thankfully. Oh no, it's not range 1, just 3 dice, but that's 3 hits. And I am 1 evade dice down. Oh, gotta spend Ancient Knowledge to keep Mauler up there, so that is down to 1 hull, half points there for Wes. The points are very close. It's still 8 points apiece at this stage. So it is still very, very close for both players. Obviously, the objective play for myself has been definitely what's been keeping me in this game. Ooh. Is Aaron going to go for... Is he going to go for Mauler? Or is he's got range 1 on both? Console fire, no kill. That's a shame. So he's going to go for Mauler. 2 points there. I potentially would have doubled down into Howlrunner. Oh, it's only 1. That could do it. Oh, natural evades. That's what we've been waiting for. The evades have woken up. Mauler is going to live that one. Means he's going to have a chance to try and take out Aaron Kraken, but Seyn has a very, very nice range 1 shot into Howlrunner now. Honestly, I think I would have done Seyn first. See what he did to Howlrunner, then do Aaron, potentially. But, ooh, that's a big old shot. That's 4. Guaranteed at least 1 going through. Spending that focus, 2 going through, half points on Howlrunner. See, with that, great shot from Seyn into Howlrunner. I would have definitely then gone Aaron into Howlrunner as well to see if I could take that one out. More points there for taking Howlrunner out. And Howlrunner's ability is really good, obviously allowing those rerolls if you're at 0 to 1. So I mean, like, damage output, Gideon is potentially very scary. Scourge and Mauler do have decent abilities if they are in range 1 or in bullseye, but Howlrunner with the reroll, that's so powerful. So I would have potentially gone there, but 1 from Scourge back down to Wedge, nothing going through. Mauler, can Mauler finish off Aaron Kraken? Unmodified, both sides. 4v2. Oh, it's not great. 2 going through. Wes needs both of these to keep Aaron alive. No, that is going to be Aaron Kraken down. So finally we have a ship down on the rebel side. Once again, tying things up. 10 apiece. Do the academies have range for any shots? I don't think that orange at the back is going to have a shot, but white has got a shot on Seyn. Nothing going through. Oh, that might have actually been Howlrunner shooting, actually. So white's now shooting. Got the lock on Seyn, but Corin is down, doing bad. And that was on Seyn, so shield down on Seyn. Now taking a bit of a lead here, 12 points to 10. With the Ancient Knowledge, again, only had 1 token, so no Ancient Knowledge tokens on my side now. Just under 11 minutes left to play. Obviously, when you've got this many ships, it does take a little bit longer to get through those rounds, but 12 to 10, Howlrunner, Mauler, both on 1, Wedge on 3, Corin on 2, Seyn has taken 1, Lieutenant Blount is absolutely fine, so capturing the Ancient Knowledge, keeping some of these ships alive, taking out Wedge and Corin is going to be worth 5 points. Those are probably the priority targets for me here. For Wes, he just wants to start taking ships out. Takes Howlrunner out, that's another 2 points. Mauler Mithel out, another 2 points. That's 4 points right there. And if you can take one of those out with Wedge, that's a shot that's not coming through. If he can get some of this Ancient Knowledge as well, that would be really handy. But the academies up the top have nabbed 1. Can they finish off Corin Horn? But yeah, I think path to victory here for me, taking out Corin and Wedge is going to be key. And hopefully, if I do lose Howlrunner or Mauler, that it is not from Wedge. Oh, the question is Blount close enough to grab that objective? Oh, the odd critic tokens that you can get, the official is always a bit tricky, but yes, Blount is in range to get that, so that is going to be handy for Wes there. I now have to be careful. I grab the objectives and he takes them out. It is so very close at this stage of the game. Every move is going to be so important. Mauler coming around looking to try and trap Corin. Scourge looking to possibly get a bump on Wedge, grabbing that Ancient Knowledge. And Howlrunner K-turning right through. Is K-turn going to be the right option? Obviously, this way you potentially got... Okay, yeah, K-turn. Depending on where Wedge ends up, could have a couple of guns facing that way. Snapshot, unfortunately, hasn't triggered so far this turn. Right, where do Seyn and Corin end up? Oh, Seyn. Oh, doing the Talon roll. That is not what you want to see as an Empire player right there. But does mean that Howlrunner is going to be able to have a snapshot. If we could get 2 through, that would be lovely. Half points there would be absolutely brilliant. That would be another 2 points, but... So Scourge way too close. Oh, cannot modify a snapshot shot. So unfortunate. It's the 1 bank from Corin, and he lands that 1 bank. Oh, that's scary. He's got a really nice range 1 shot there, but if he barrel rolls, he could get himself out of arc of Mauler and basically make Mauler completely irrelevant other than a big loss of potential points. But saying that, if he barrel rolls down, he could potentially take Mauler out. If Howlrunner is still there, and there is Bullseye, and Corrin hasn't gone down, that could be another way to guarantee Howlrunner going down. Obviously, you've got two ships currently pointing at Howlrunner that are definitely going to be able to take it. Seyn and Wedge, they shouldn't have any issues taking down Howlrunner at this point, but we'll still have to see. Yeah, it is the barrel roll down, so out of Mauler's arc, putting himself a bit further away from those academy ties, does put him squarely into Howlrunner's arc, so Howlrunner will still be able to have a shot there if that is the option. If Howlrunner has not been wiped out by Wedge, who one forward bumps, but it is, with 2.5 minutes left, this is going to be the last turn, so Wes is not going to be too worried about taking that red focus. No mods on Howlrunner either. Howlrunner is in a very unfortunate position. That looks like range 2, so it'll be 3v2. So yeah, just confirming the health of the ship. Scourge has 3. White Academy pilot has 3. Orange has 2. Mauler and Howlrunner both have 1 and are in very unfortunate positions here. I think it is very important. Wes does need to... He's got the guns to do this, but he definitely needs to make sure he's doing this in the right order. So, Wedge going into Howlrunner, I mean, that makes the most sense. Stops Howlrunner getting that shot onto Corrin, making Corrin basically completely safe. Although, we could get a blank out. That is unfortunately not a blank out. That is a hit and 2 crits. And that is Howlrunner down. 2 more points for Wes. Big piece gone. No rerolls. No shots at either of those 2 damaged rebel ships there from Howlrunner. Now, it is still in my hands for the initiative, so we are going to see Scourge take a shot first. Does he have Bullseye on Seyn? No Bullseye, just range 1. Only mod we have there is the Ancient Knowledge. There is a world in which I lose all of these ties except for the academies. Looks like I think I've got a lock there. One of those definitely belongs to one of the academies. Spending the Ancient Knowledge to try and get 2 through, looking for half points. No, just a shield. Not half points on the thing. That is unfortunately probably going to be game over here. With Seyn and Corrin still left to shoot, both of them combined, easily going to be able to take out Howlrunner. Ancient Knowledge on both sides is 1 point apiece, so currently it ends 13-13, but Seyn going into Scourge. just 2 hits. Hit crit going through onto Scourge, so that is another half points. The crit is direct hit. That is Scourge down. Yep, as I said, danger of losing all 3 there. That's 2 out of 3. Corin now, range 1 into Mauler. Got the focus. Could survive. Let's see what we get. Ooh, only 2. He's got the lock. Re-rolling both. And that is Mauler Mithel dead. That's another 2 points. Even with 3 dice, cannot do that. Mauler Mithel down 17 points currently to Wedge, 12 in my favour. It's now up to the academies. Can they take out Corin Horn, score me a cheeky 3 extra points at the end, and possibly bring this to a 16 to 18? It has been very close the entire way through this game, though. Up until this turn, it has been so close. Oh, 2 hits. Two evades. No. It is down to the White Academy TIE pilot now. Just the one. Spends Ancient Knowledge. Probably not going to do anything. So, going to keep Ancient Knowledge. Would not have taken Corin Horn down, so keeping Ancient Knowledge. It ends 13 points to 18 in Wes's favour. He does get Vengeance, but that was so close the whole way through. A few different manoeuvres there from my TIE pilots, and I think it could have been a very different game, but you know what? It was still an absolute blast. Really challenging but fun to fly 7 ships. Well worth doing it. If you've got enough TIE fighters and Dars, I do suggest it. But guys, there we go. That is your game for this week. Utter carnage from the Rebels, showing why they managed to take out 2 Death Stars. But thanks to Wes for playing, and thank you all so much for watching. As always, guys, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.